We are live. I think I'm gonna do a video every day this week, y'all. It's a big week. It's a big week. I think I'm gonna do a video every day. Definitely gonna do a video tomorrow. I don't. I'm thinking about being live for some of these announcements, but that time difference might kill me. I got to see when kids are announcing because they're announcing in the morning. It's gonna be like, like 5 in the morning here. So, but I think. Ooh, what happened up here? I think I'm gonna do a video every day. But how's everybody doing today, man? Another day in the great in the great Newburgh have y'all riled up every morning, y'all. They doing the ruck marches. Newburgh be having y'all ass pissed off with his crystal ball predictions. Shout out to Newburgh. He know how to sell his product. Get y'all riled up, get y'all hitting that subscribe button, and shout out to Josh and 247 crew. Can't even be mad at it. How y'all feeling this morning? Or, afternoon for y'all. Morning for me as always. I mean, nothing that I can think of news-wise broke since yesterday. Dilly's still the OC. I would say that after that 24 hours, I'm not sure he goes anywhere at this point. I think if they were going to strike something, they would have got it done before National Signing Day. That's just my opinion. I don't know anything on it. So I would argue that at this point, I don't think Kenny's going anywhere. Uh, Josh Newberg just had a Spaces not too long ago. Most of y'all were probably in that Spaces. And he brought up a good point that I agree with about Atkins, and that's what I've been saying. If if Kenny stays, I don't know how long. The man probably wants to be an offensive coordinator again. He was an offensive coordinator at Charlotte. I think Atkins is more valuable, but that's just me. That's just me. So I'm not checking the comments as much right now, because obviously I'm driving. But let's see what y'all talking about. I think they would have announced by now. I don't know why you would wait till after the signing period. It ain't like Dilly bringing in any recruits, so you might as well dip. It's funny that I've been telling y'all since the Miami game that Kevin Coleman wasn't coming here. As soon as Newberg drops a crystal ball and says it, it's the damn gospel. Yo, what do I know, man? Like I said before, man, I'm just a light-skinned dude on YouTube. I'm just a light-skinned dude on YouTube. When I say stuff, nobody listens. Soon as y'all savior says something, the gospel has been spoken. Now everybody's in an uproar about Kevin Coleman. I've only been saying Kevin Coleman ain't coming here for a month. Granted, I didn't know it would be Miami at the time, and I'm still not 100% sure on that Miami thing, but I knew he wasn't coming here. I knew he wasn't coming here. Canes fans starting a rumor saying Kenny was messing with Norvell. What? I don't know who y'all be watching or who y'all be listening to, Brandon, with y'all with them type of stuff. I say this all the time. Uh, as far as YouTube goes, you got to understand the platform and who you listen to. I am cool with T2I, so I like him and his channel. But if you go there for news, man, you're doing yourself a disservice. Understand what T2I's channel is. It's just he just has fun with it. But as far as actual football talk, only Miami shows I really listen to is Coach Hayes and probably Coach Hayes. So I don't know where you're getting that rumor from, but that's no disrespect to anybody else. I'm just saying I really like Coach Hayes' channel. Mike with War Chant stated FSU has top 3 for Gibbs, the running back in the portal, now that Corbin declared for the draft. Gibbs ain't coming here, y'all. Don't let them boost y'all head up. Don't do it. I took your word for it on Coleman. Wasn't letting it do me like Wesley. What up, BB? I can't blame Coleman. He made clear with his lack of acknowledgement for FSU, he had no intentions of coming to Florida State. Again, I only been saying it for a month. I've only been saying Coleman ain't coming here for a month. You don't have to be an insider, guys, to figure things out. Listen to how these kids, just pay attention to how kids move and how they interact. You don't got to be an insider. Just and anybody's an insider because they know somebody's cousin's mother's baby daddy's uncle. Like, stop it. You talking to some fifth party person about a kid who know as much as I do. That's how people are getting their insider information. If you want to be honest about it, you don't got to be an insider to know this stuff. Just watch how these kids move. Social media is social media is a blessing and a curse, right? These kids show their entire movements on social media nowadays. You'll know where a kid's committing, man, before he makes that announcement 2 or 3 months in advance. I knew Coleman wasn't in the picture because he never showed love to Florida State. The man was at Florida State. I think Coleman showed up for the Notre Dame game. Recruitment very similar to Ba. Ball was in love with Florida State in the summer. As soon as he left campus, it's like he never even visited again. Had nothing to say. Coleman showed every other school that was recruiting him love, but I never saw him talk about Florida State. That's how I knew. War Chant swears Coleman is coming. That's because, Michael Langston has steered plenty of people wrong in the past. And I'm not here to call out these individuals. Look, they make more money doing this, and I do this as a hobby. These people make a living off of it. So shout out to them. But if you've listened to them in the past, this time last year, Michael Langston was reporting Trey Sanders was hitting the transfer portal, and Florida State was one in the picture. Sanders never even touched the portal. That's just one example. The man had a wife beater and looked drunk during his in-home visit with in-home visit. LO. I laughed my ass off. I knew from there talking about that picture. I mean, that picture was last week. I knew before that. A war chant sell more recruiting hope than the actual coaches. What up, Pope? Can't wait till January, man. Trying to tell y'all, I've been calling for Dugan since the beginning of the year too, huh? But now everybody on. It's like it takes certain things for y'all to get on. Not not specifically talking about you, Damien, or not even specifically addressing anyone in the chat specifically. It's just in generally speaking of the fan base. It's crazy to me because it's like I feel like I start these things, and then it takes certain events for people to jump on the bandwagon. You gotta have some foresight. I've been on getting rid of Dugan's hell since last year. But now we're gonna use the fact that Mortimer's probably gone. Yeah, that's right. Mortimer's probably gone, and you're not landing Coleman. And Coleman's probably more so on Dillingham than anything else. But I say this all the time. I keep the same energy across the board when it comes to specific positions. I blame the position coach. That's just how we do it. But Mortimer's 100% on Ron Dugan's. But I say this all the time, y'all. I don't just talk the talk. I genuinely give honest. Now, they're opinions. They're not facts. They may later on turn out to be somewhat factual. But when I say stuff, I actually mean it. I don't just call for Ron Dugan's job because I have something against Ron. Nope, the proof's in the pudding. Eyeball that. So I was in Twitter jail yesterday, but I saw the eyeballs. Had I been able to retweet stuff, I probably would have retweeted them just for the hell of it. It was funny. I never took it for anything serious. That was just me though. Um, you were on the Coleman thing for a minute. You called it, and when he didn't take our invite versus Miami, good. Yeah, hey, Coleman going to UM. That's cool. Put Hunter on him. Yeah, well, that's true, Mark. No doubt there. Hunter visits Miami. Hunter can't visit Miami. The dead period, Corey. What are you talking about? There is no more visits. The most coaches can do now is communicate via phone and stuff like that. Text. I think they can still. I think they can call. I know for sure they can like text and like DMs and stuff like that. But there's no visits. Not for high school kids. It's a dead period. No visits. Wish we would have recruited multiple high three-star wide receivers instead of chasing Coleman for so long. Dugan's better get Mortimer. Well, I got news for you, Marcus. I got news for you, pal. We're gonna go through each. When I park, we're gonna go through each. Let me get over. We're gonna go through each recruit that we kind of left on the board, and I'm gonna give a confidence rating on where I think they end up, or just do I think not where I think they end up, but if I think they end up with Florida State. McCall and the DB from Niceville will probably play offense. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. McCall is this is just a gut feeling for me. So if this happens, you heard it here because no one else is talking about this, and I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want to put too much out there. But I will say McCall is a recruitment tomorrow that I'm watching. I have a feeling about that. And if you want to talk about a situation that might be a surprise that we won't like, watch the McCall stuff. Not even gonna lie to y'all. And then if it happens, I'll come back and address it. If it doesn't, then it was all worries for nothing. Half our DB recruits might play wide receiver, which I'm trying to help Dugans out so bad. For real. Because of the transfer portal, you can't fall in love with these players. I hate it. I feel like this is a slightly better Jimbo class where we got all these studs, stud defensive backs, but a lot of key positions are neglected. I mean, just two. Just we have two positions neglected: receiver and linebacker. Oh, by the way, the two positions we knew throughout the entire year were the worst positions on the football field: receiver, linebacker. I don't know how, as a staff, you allow that to happen. I'm not even gonna lie to you. My bad. Last weekend, Hunter wasn't in Miami last weekend, bro. Coleman was. Hunter was not. As a matter of fact, Hunter was playing in the state championship last weekend, which most kids were. Jaleel Skinner was in Miami. Hey, Polk, I'm hearing Tay Woody might be. Yeah, that's kind of been. We talking about that when he first committed. That he was a guy that at the time FSU took because they took him when nobody else would take him because of his grades. And the thought was if he gets his grades worked out, he would stay loyal because FSU was the first team to take a chance on him. As of right now, it still looks like he's not gonna be eligible. And the talk is that no school, the only other school I think that's in his recruitment is Auburn, and neither Auburn or Florida State is gonna send him an LOI to sign tomorrow because they could, but as a school, if you send Woody that LOI and he signs it and he doesn't qualify, you don't get that scholarship back. You have to eat that scholarship. So you basically just wasted a whole scholarship on a kid that you already knew wasn't going to qualify. So yeah, he probably won't be eligible. I know Earl Jr. is probably going to Bama, but any chance? No. Earl Little Jr. was never coming here either. And I don't know if Bama's a foregone conclusion. I'm not gonna pretend like the crystal ball effect isn't. He's had it's the honeymoon. Crystal ball right now is reminding me a lot of Willie Taggart when he first came to Florida State. And you go look what Willie Taggart did when he first came to Florida State. He took a class very similar that was in the '60s when Jimbo bounced on us, and that it ended up being a top 15 class. He signed the likes of the Malcolm Lamars. I mean, now he signed a bunch of guys that ended up not being a damn thing. Point is, the point is that honeymoon phase with Taggart, like, elevated the recruiting class. I think Miami's in a very similar situation here, where there's a honeymoon phase. Games haven't been played yet. Okay, so the hometown hero's home. He's getting his guys. I don't know. I think Earl Little might very well be a real play for Miami. To be honest with you, I know Bama's always a tough one to beat out, but I wouldn't sleep on Miami for Earl Little. Um, I trust your word, Polk. A page on Facebook I follow got pics of Sam McCall saying he's like. I think Sam. I'm not. I think Sam has been locked in. And again, I don't want to. I don't want to give it away. I think, but I had a couple conversations with some people yesterday. I think Sam has been locked in, but I think there was an interesting development yesterday that might open some things up. But we'll see. Again, that and it's pure speculation. I haven't talked to anybody who really knows anything. This is how I do stuff. I just put pieces together and make my predictions like that. And I'm not saying Sam's out. I'm just saying that one has me on edge. I'll be paying attention to Sam McCall very closely. I don't think Mortimer's coming either, though. I think the writing's on the wall there. I think I think he went other places and probably got showed more love. I think he went to Louis, which is ridiculous to me that a team with no wide receivers didn't make Mortimer a top priority. But I think some of these other schools just made him feel more at home or something. The national media doesn't want Travis Hunter. They don't, bro. They don't want him. All the rumors about Hunter is, to be fair though, that this would, I mean, he's the number one, he's the number one player in the country. So he was gonna get that type of attention. He's gonna get that type of attention. But I, if anything, that's why I can't wait for tomorrow more than anything, man. I can't wait to put the Hunter stuff to bed. To be honest with you, stop blaming Dugans. These kids ain't stupid. They don't want to come here and play with Travis Jordan. It's not all Dugans. Stop it. I don't buy that. You can sell it, but I ain't buying it. I don't buy that. It's relationships, bro. Coleman was gonna go to look. Let's just talk about Kevin Coleman before we talk about anybody else, because it's relationships. It's not about Jordan Travis. Who is Oregon's quarterback? Oregon's quarterback is worse than Jordan Travis. Oregon's quarterback is terrible, absolutely buns. But Coleman was gonna go to Oregon had Cristobal still been the head coach up there. We know that. But that quarterback ain't nothing to write home about. Again, he's terrible, but the relationship was there. This has every bit as much to do with and Coleman has a great relationship with AJ Duffy. So it's not like AJ Duffy ain't his future quarterback. Bro, this is about building your relationships with your coaching staff. Don't blame players, bro. The coaches get paid six figures up to recruit and land players. I don't even know if you're being, because with you say stuff sarcastically and you say, I don't even know if you're being serious right now, but it is all on the coaches when you talk about recruiting. It is never on players on the field when we're talking about landing kids. Yeah, the honeymoon phase, man. It ain't Jordan. That's the problem, man. Mortimer gonna spend thank you. It ain't got nothing to do with Jordan Travis. Mortimer's future quarterback is either Duffy or Parsons. You're absolutely right, Terrence. You hit it before I did. Obviously, I'm a little behind in the comment section. Yeah, he went to Oregon and saw a better quarterback. Man, stop that. If Dugans develop our current wide receivers more, I wouldn't blame him as much. You're gonna either be recruiting or developing. And be honest, we haven't seen much from that position, regardless of Travis. No playmakers. We don't have a number one receiver that can catch a screen and make something happen. They're good at blocking, though. No, our QB can't read or check down. Stop blaming Dugans. Okay. Boxing monster. Jordan Travis can throw. You see in the last 3 games of the season. Ain't nothing up with Daniel Martin. He ain't coming here. All that's gonna happen with Hunter is the story gonna change from he flipping to he gonna hit the portal. They obviously were more confident in his arm than they should have, but it's plain to see. Calvin Johnson with the Georgia Tech. It's relationships, dog. That's how recruiting works, bro. It's relationships. Phil, how you doing? Appreciate that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Travis won't be here in 2023. These kids not coming because of relationships. Um, Even if we don't get Marvin Jones Jr. and some of the other recruits that some people want, I'm pretty hyped about the recruits we currently have. I'm hearing that, here we go. I'm hearing that Travis Hunter personality is too big and is running off some of the other receivers like Skinner. No, I think if you're talking about Jaleel Skinner, he's a tight end. But William, I think Hunter definitely has a big personality. But I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if there's any truth to what you're saying, but I'll say this: if you letting a kid like Travis Hunter run you out of a program, I don't want you anyway. To be quite honest with you. What up, Joe? All I was saying about McCall is that's a recruitment to watch tomorrow. That's it. I don't want to say too much. I'm not in the business of spreading rumors or lies. I'm just saying personally for me, that is a recruitment that I am very intrigued by tomorrow. So if something happens that doesn't go in our favor, you heard it here first. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I have no proof it's going to happen. It's pure 100% speculation on my part. I just looking at some puzzle pieces falling and saying, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 2 equals 3. These things might happen, right? So that's just what I'm saying. Kevin Coleman has a better relationship with Dillingham versus Dugans, and that's sad. You can blame Dilly for that recruitment too, though. 100%. Players need to be around a leader with confidence like Hunter. Miami had fans warned us about Dugans. They sure did. You ain't lying there. They knew his personality, though. Look at how big of a personality Jameis had. Wow, these receiver recruits are weak if they worried about another guy's personality. A football locker room is full of big personalities. Come on, man. Absolutely. Hunter reminds me of Ramsey, a straight dog that's going to talk the talk and walk the walk. We need all of that. Yes, he is. That's what I'm saying. You can blame Dillingham for that recruitment just as much. We need a Travis Hunter personality on this team. I agree with that. So if we look at, okay, so who are we pending on signing tomorrow? I'm gonna name guys that even know that I don't think we have a shot, but I know tomorrow. All right. I'm gonna name some guys who we currently have committed who are like on flip watch. So let's start with the guys that are currently committed who might flip. Devon Mortimer. My confidence rating on Mortimer. So is we're doing a scale. I'm gonna do a scale from 1 to 10, and I can't pick 5 because 5 is riding the fence, in my opinion. To me, if I say I have a confidence level of 5, then I'm not really saying having an opinion one way or the other, right? So I can't choose 5, 1 through 10. For me, Mortimer, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'm almost certain. For me, I got Mortimer as a 4. I don't think Mortimer's coming. I think the smoke is that. I don't even think it's smoke no more, man. I think it's a full-on blaze at this point. I think Mortimer, my confidence level for Mortimer right now is a 4. Um, Another guy that's on flip watch is Jalen Early. I feel good on Early. I'm gonna go like a 7 on Early. I know he took some visits, but the smoke isn't there like it's there with Mortimer. And I know Jalen Early and Jabril Powers are pretty much a package deal as like best friends or whatever. And I'm not sure wherever Early would flip to would take Powers as well. So I got a 7 on Early. I don't think Early's going anywhere. I probably would go higher. But anytime you're taking those visits, it's a little bit cause for concern. So if Powers and Early are a package deal, there's another school really gonna? Because no offense to Jabril Powers, but he's a straight up 100% project player. He's a straight up project. Like there's another school waste of scholarship is what I'm saying on Jabril Powers. I know Early's the big get there. I think Florida State fully embraced Jabril Powers, and I think that goes a long way with Early. I got a 7. I got a 7. I got a 7 on Early. Who's some other flip candidates? I think that's. I'm not, even though I said what I said about McCall, I'm not going to put him on here because none of your national medias feels any certain way about Sam McCall. Everybody's pretty much got him penciled in, so I won't go there with McCall. I'm trying to think. Is there any other flip guys? That's it. Besides Jalen Early and Devon Mortimer, I don't think so. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think so. I think everybody else is pretty much locked in. I mean, if you want me to put McCall on it, I feel good because he said all the right things up until this point. But if I went a 7 on early, then I'm gonna go with 6 on McCall. I think some things are going on there that aren't a lot of people aware of. So Terrence said put McCall. I'm gonna put a 6 on McCall. I think McCall ends up in the class, but I will say that it would not shock me if something happened tomorrow with McCall. Woody and Tavius Woody is a 0. He's not gonna be here, bro. He's not gonna be here. He's not gonna be here because he's not eligible. He don't have the grades. Um, so that's there. Now let's talk about the kids that aren't committed who we want, that are, targets. Thomas out of Niceville. The overall media certainty on him has me hesitant. I'm not gonna lie. It's real quick before I continue. This ain't even about him visiting other schools, Boxing Monster. Again, I don't want to say too much, but it ain't got nothing to do with him visiting other schools. But the overall media thing on Thomas has me a little reserved. Like Terrence is all the way up to an 8 on Thomas out of Niceville, and I hear you, but I feel like this is a recruitment that we weren't in until literally 2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks ago, this kid wasn't even thinking about Florida State, and all of a sudden now, people are like a 10. He's coming, right? I think Oklahoma might still have a shot there. Corey Raymond being at Florida might still intrigue his interest a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. So with Thomas, I'm gonna go with 7. I'm gonna go with 7 with that. I'm mad at 8. I think 8 is probably what everybody else like very high. I got a 7 on Thomas. We go to Armella, Julian Armella, of course, legacy offensive tackle. Rivals has him as a tackle. The 247 has him as an interior offensive lineman. Honestly, I think he could play either or. Um, I know he can put on the weight to play inside because he's been as heavy as 330 pounds. Right now, he's down to like 290. He looks in phenomenal shape. If you saw his recent pictures of him on campus, I think he can play tackle or guard. With that said, I'm not gonna lie. I got a 10. I think Armella's a lock. I think Armella's a lock. Um, I think Armella's a lock. That's just me. You guys can put your numbers. I would say Armella's a lock. 10 or 9. 10 or 9 on that one. I think they did everything. I think they did everything. I think they did everything they. I think Armella's a lot. Armella is signing tomorrow. He just can't early enrollee. He just can't early enroll because St. Thomas Aquinas doesn't allow them to early enroll. But I think Atkins has knocked it out of the park for Armella. That's just me though. Who else we got? Who else we got? No, I know nothing's. Of course, nothing's ever for sure. Of course not. Nothing's ever for sure. But I feel good on that one. I feel good on that one. Tyree West. I don't. I would. I was at like a 8 for Tyree West. That last visit to Tennessee. It's an SEC school. He's still committed to Georgia, but I think everybody knows he won't be in that class. Um, Tyree West for me, I'm gonna go 7. I still feel pretty good, but Odell hasn't closed lately, man. And if Odell closes, I got it. But Odell hasn't closed lately, and like last year, who was it? That kid at defensive tackle out of New Jersey. Odell couldn't close on it. Recent years, man, Odell hasn't been able to close on these kids. For me, I got Tyree West as a 7. I got Tyree West as a 7. Um, I don't think that one's a whole lock. I could even say 6. I feel good, but at the same time, I think Odell's got to close that one out. Um, Armella, I think Armella coming here. Brandon B just came on today and wanted to be an asshole. He wanted to be negative. Um, Brandon B putting 4s and 3s in for everybody. Who else? Is Marvin Jones Jr. the last one? Well, so you got a couple guys. I mean, we'll talk about Kevin Coleman. All right, Kevin Coleman today. Josh Newberg crystal balled him to Miami. So I mean, I got a 2 on Coleman. I got a 2 on Coleman. Like I said for a month he wasn't coming here. So, you know, I got a 2 on that one. You could even say 0, but look, I'll give it a 2 because he has apparently this solid relationship with Kenny Dillingham for whatever that's worth. He's just not he has this solid relationship with this staff, so we'll take that for what it's worth. Um, then we got Kamari Wilson. Kamari Wilson's interesting. And no, I don't have a high number on Kamari Wilson. But what's interesting about Kamari is that Georgia is starting to have to push kids out of their class. Tyree West is already, Georgia has 25 commits. As we know, the rule is 25 plus 7, the plus 7 being in the portal. That's the rules. Right now, Georgia has 25. Now, you could say 24 because Tyree West won't sign with them. And I think they just pushed out one of the guys, Humphrey, who was originally committed to Florida. Now it looks like he might come back to Florida because I think Georgia's pushing him out. And Georgia just got a crystal ball yesterday from that DB that was committed to Clemson. And who's a 5-star. And now they're trying to sign 5-star Kamari Wilson. Georgia is very interesting in the recruitment of some of these other kids. So with that said, I will put Kamari again. I can't use 5. I think if you're gonna say a 5, to me, you're not really making a decision. You're just riding the fence, right? For me, I'm going to say a 4 on Kamari. I think he likes Florida State, but right now it's hard to until Florida State gets their act together. Um, until he gets his act together, until Florida State gets their act together, it's hard to out recruit teams that were playing in the playoff every year and that type of thing. Can Jalen early sign Wednesday, even though he's playing in the state? Yeah, of course he can. He's not enrolled in school yet. He's just signing his letter of intent. Earl Little. I got Earl Little as a 3. Um, Earl Little as a 3. I don't. Again, I think that's a Miami, Alabama thing, and I think everybody feels Alabama, but I think don't sleep on Miami there. Gibson is a 0. Just answer your questions real quick. Gibson's a 0. He's going to Oklahoma. Camden Brown. I don't know about Camden Brown because I don't know where he might end up going back to Pitt. I don't know about Camden Brown. Haven't really put much thought in him because I didn't feel like FSU was really taking that recruitment seriously. I agree with that, Zoe. But don't tell these kids that. Javante Barnes. Okay, I forgot about Barnes. I think he's all Oklahoma. I think DeMarco Murray has locked him up. If I had to put a number on him, 2. 2. Appreciate that, Walt Bell. Yeah, but you putting zeros in for everybody. Like, You putting zeros in for guys like Armella, who Atkins is pretty much all but locked up. You like we ain't getting none of these dudes. We ain't getting Thomas. We ain't getting like. It's one thing to put in low numbers for guys who I don't think we have a legit shot at. Even the guys we got a shot at, you don't feel like. I don't know. These boys are going to be ride the bench, come to FSU, great right away. Hunter's talking about playing in some game in Nevada, and I think Hunter is actually playing in a. I won't be here unfortunately, but Hunter's actually coming to Hawaii to play in the Polynesian Bowl. Max Johnson again. He's a transfer, not a recruit. Yeah, but again, I'm talking about Georgia's number. I don't think Georgia pushes anybody out for Camden Brown. He's another transfer guy who I'm not really touching on right now. I'm trying to make sure we got any other recruits before I go into Marvin Jones Jr. Are we talking about anybody? I mean, what do you want me to talk about, True Seminole? Mac Johnson, they've had no contact, bro. According to Josh Newberg, I mean, what are we talking about? Max Johnson and Jake Johnson. I know Jake Johnson announces his commitment tomorrow, but nobody's talked about any of these kids. So, I mean, okay, Nigel Kelly. Yeah, I think that's Miami. But I'll put a 4 in for Nigel Kelly. Again, if I could put a 5, that's one of those I'd probably be on the fence on with Kelly. I think he does. I think he's got some relationships at Florida State, but I think staying at. I always said from the day Nigel Kelly decommitted, his mom always had the vibe that she wanted him in Miami. So I think that's where he ends up. If Manny Diaz was still the coach, I don't believe Kelly would have ended up there. But especially now with Cristobal, I think that's where Kelly ends up. So I'm gonna put a 4 in for Kelly. Basaint is 100% Miami, so that's a 0 on Basaint. Um, who's this? Then why is he? Who's a solid 8? Um, who else we got? I saw another name. Who's a solid 8? Somebody said Willis, I think. Hell, that's another 2. I don't even know if they're actively in recruiting Willis at this point. I don't. McLean wasn't a surprise. If y'all remember, McLean was committed to Florida State, decommitted, and they just reeled him back in. McLean wasn't a surprise. We didn't have any surprise commits last year. I'm not too sure we're gonna have too many this year. I'll put it to you like this: if there's a surprise tomorrow, it's not gonna go in Florida State's favor. That's my opinion. Let me answer this question by saying this: is Norvell doing that Brian Kelly dance with AJ Duffy gonna result in more than 5 wins? Because if it is, he can dance with AJ Duffy all damn day. I don't care. I mean, I've tried to wait before I got to Marvin Jones Jr. I already talked about Kamari Wilson. I think he's about a 3 or a 4. He did decommit. Talking about Willis, and it's going to be Ole Miss, Arkansas, like people are saying. There's been some buzz around him. I would have to see that one to believe it. I really don't even count him as really being on the radar, but that's just my opinion there. I think definitely with Kelly, I always had that vibe. So that's that's me, and I think Florida State could have had Basaint, but you know when you don't have a killer at linebacker coach that can recruit really, it is what it is. And again, I think the Cristobal hire. We'll see what that does in the long run. But I think the crystal ball hire, they're in the honeymoon phase, and there's a lot of early hype and early, yeah, Mario here, he finna do this, and he again, Florida State went through the same honeymoon phase with Taggart when Taggart first got here. The hometown dude, the Florida brother coming home, da 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 da. And Florida State had the same type of recruiting momentum when Taggart first got here. Very similar to Miami. Florida State was in the 60s. We were load more university before they were when Taggart got here. Jimbo left us in shambles. And guess what? Taggart pulled us out of it, right? I think the same thing's happening with Miami. I think Martin's gonna land some good kids. But as they say, games still have to be played. Because Alabama winning games, they feel like they know them. They know, when you playing at the level of Alabama, you know, people are allowed to listen to who they want to listen to, Doug. I don't tell people who not to listen to. If they like Uncle Luke, Cristobal Hire is all about hype and recruitment, nothing significant. I mean, wasn't Willie Taggart though? That's my point. Willie Taggart was the same thing. What did everybody say about Willie Taggart? And I'm not trying to make this a Taggart thing, but I'm talking about this in relationship to Mario Cristobal. It was, well, they're not too sure of his X's and O's, but Taggart can recruit. That was the number one selling point. Taggart can recruit. That's what Cristobal is. Taggart Cristobal can recruit, or that's the selling point. Cristobal had five-star QBs on the bench at Oregon, and still chose to start Anthony Brown. Some mistakes most coaches make. I'm not impressed coaching wise. By what metric, Dylan, is Cristobal the best coach in the Big Three? Because his what is his record? 62-60 might beg to differ. His winning percentage as a coach might beg to differ. Cristobal didn't do anything special. Bro, don't compare anyone to Willie Tag. My bad, man. My bad, homie. Uh, there you go, 62-60. But okay, so Marvin Jones Jr. I guess he's the last one. And y'all know how I feel. Marvin Jones Jr. will be a Seminole. And I got a confidence rating of damn it 10. I don't really believe it, but I believe that he's going to be here. But I don't know about confidence level as a 10. I hope that that's the major surprise for me tomorrow. Uh, I stopped listening to all the recruiting stuff. I would just sit and wait till. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to have some sanity serve, I would say that's probably the best way to go about it. Because if you listen to the recruiting stuff all in and out, yeah, they'll have you pulling your hair out, man. Everybody has an inside source. Everybody knows a prospect's mother's aunt or prospect sister's whatever, right? So everybody has somebody that they know this kid, and they know. At the end of the day, just sit back and let it lie. Let the cards lie and see what happens. Um, Cristobal had Justin Herbert, a top 3 QB in the NFL, with Cannon throwing slant routes all year at Oregon. That's all you need to know about Mario. Cristobal will be fired in 3 or 4 years. I'm surprised there is only one Cristobal for MJG because nobody knows where Marvin Jones Jr. is going, number one. And Newberg does that stuff to sell y'all his 247 subscriptions. Newberg just dropped Cristobal for Coleman. He dropped one for Marvin Jones Jr. Why is there only one Cristobal for these kids? Because Newberg's like, again, he's a master at what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. And a lot of people are going to go over there and subscribe and click it and think that they have some inside knowledge. Mario can recruit the ghetto. What up? What up, Shamar? Top 10 class or nah? If if we if we get if Florida State lands, I'm not even going to count Marvin Jones Jr. If we keep everybody we're supposed to keep, now there's a good chance we lose out on Mortimer, so that might take a hit. Let's say we lose Mortimer, but we keep everybody else, and you add Tyree West, Thomas, and Armella. I think you're flirting with the top 10 class. If you land Marvin Jones Jr. on top of that, I think you definitely have a top 10 class at that point. And then, hey, if we keep Mortimer and add that stuff, you know, perfect. The best case scenario is, in my opinion, the best realistic scenario is Mortimer doesn't flip. You add those four guys: West, Thomas, Armella, and Marvin Jones Jr. And then I do think you end up with a top 10 class. No, I mean, if he goes anywhere else, I'll understand it. I'll understand it. Yeah, Marvin Jones Jr. is gonna be like the last guy. He's gonna draw it out. They're doing it 4 o'clock or damn near 5 o'clock, which means most of the other announcements will be done by the time Marvin Jones Jr. Will announce. It's just so much that goes into recruiting that we don't know about it, and it is reported that it's hard to get plugged into for real. It's all vague. Bro. The difference is, Seminole Firewater, is I tell you, I ain't got no sources, homie. I'm just talking. I'm just 100% speculating. What I don't like is when people try to pass it off as they know things. That's disingenuous to me. To pass it off as, well, I know a guy, so this is happening. And then and then 2 hours before he commits, no, man, I talked to another guy, so I'm gonna change my pick to this. Bro, you never knew. Mortimer's been taking visits. That's why he took a visit to West Virginia, took a visit to Louisville this past weekend when the 247 guys and guys have reached out to Mortimer for comments. He sounds very conflicted in his answers. That's why. Do you see? Yes. So we didn't make the top 3 for Frazier, which actually shocked me. So that was good. Big Game James is good. I like big. Let me be clear. I don't dislike any of these guys that have their platforms and give their thoughts and opinions, and don't dislike any of them. You put a gun to my head and I have to choose from Cristobal, Norvell, or Napier. I got to choose the guy who has actually won a Power 5 title. Napier and Norvell still unproven at this level. I mean, I guess, even if it is the Pac-12, right? But I get it. Let's pray we don't have Alvaro. Oh, that's going to happen. For real, Dustin Hill took so long. Dustin Hill's not real, y'all. Y'all might not remember this. What is this guy doing? Like all these parking spots. And he's parked right next to me. I hate people. I mean, they have the same high school, so yeah. Yes, I do. You've been telling me that from the jump. We'll see. Pac-12 hasn't made the. No, I think Washington. Didn't Washington make the playoff? I know Oregon made the inaugural playoff. I think Washington made a playoff. I think those are the only 2 Pac-12 teams that have ever made the playoff. Oh, same here. Absolutely. Be shocked. Dale, what's good with you? Okay, we'll see. I hope so. Frazier's a good get. Yeah, Washington and Oregon are only 2 that's made the playoff. Hey, Dustin Hill's not a real person, y'all. I keep trying to tell y'all. Dustin Hill is not a real person. Y'all, someone show me a picture. You can show. There's only one picture circulating of Dustin Hill, and it's the same picture everybody has. Dustin Hill's not a real person. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do a video every day this week. Definitely today. Obviously, I did one tomorrow, yesterday, today, tomorrow. Definitely gonna go live. Try to go live during some of these announcements, and then Thursday I don't know, and then Friday we'll bring Jerg and we'll bring Terrence on, and we'll talk about Miami's class. We'll talk about all that stuff. We'll talk about all that stuff. Hey, I feel you, VJ. I think Earl Jr. to Miami is legit, like a legit possibility. You already know how I feel about Marvin Jones. A lot of fan bases choose their coaches on how good they recruit instead of how they can coach or not. And could Wake Forest represent killing all these teams. What's up, first time chat? We need a yeah. Who you telling? Knowles for life. How you doing? So Dustin Hill is I think so, bro. I think he's a Bishop Sycamore player, bro. I don't think Dustin Hill's a real. I'll be surprised if Dustin Hill becomes a real person, bro. We only have 9 scholarship O linemen on the roster. Most team has at least 15. Between the portal, high school recruits, I'm interested how many we. So off the top of my head, right now, I know we got Rod Orr, Washington, Gibbons, Maurice Smith, Estes, uh, Brady, uh, Robert Scott. Brady Scott's gone. That's 6. Am I missing 3 more? They let Jalen Goss go. They let Ira Henry go. Oh yes, Thomas Schrader, Zane Herring. Damn, that might be it. That's 8. I think I got 8. You said 9. Who am I missing there? But even so, they're bringing in 6, and they're definitely gonna add. So let's say you say your 9 is correct. They're bringing in 6. What 9 plus 6 is what? 15. And then we know they're going to sign at least 2 to 3 transfer guys. So I think they'll have those numbers that you're talking about, Firewater. You'll jump up. I think he's going to land some solid guys. I think you're going to jump up. Again, it's like when Willie came in. I think it's a very similar situation. If Dustin Hill came, bro, yeah, I'm absolutely. You go get that. Little and Jones playing the. No, I don't think that's happening. I mean, if they go to Bama, then everybody's gonna be like, "I told y'all, Earl Little and Marvin Jones was gonna play together." But I don't think they're not a package deal in my opinion. Will they? Do they both end up at Bama? It's possible, highly possible, but I don't think it's like one team has to sign both of them. I don't honestly I don't believe that. Napier had one of the oldest teams. I thought a lot of 5-year guys that's not gonna work at Florida when the NFL comes calling. I feel like college coaches have to be half recruit. They definitely have recruiting has to be a part of college coaching. We saw that with Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen is about as good as an X's and O's coach as you can find. Hell, they said the same thing about Chris Marv. About as good as an X's and O's coach you can find. But if you can't relate to kids and recruit them, you won't have a job long at the college level. Who you think hits the portal next? Gant, Williamson, Fortier. Mm. One of those receivers. I think one of the DBs, if not 1 or 2 DBs, probably goes next. Cristobal has 17 silence. Hill was the original longest yard. Recruit is the lifeblood of the program. Period. Absolutely true. But a lot goes into recruiting. Great relationships are definitely good, but again, you saw this. Again, I keep bringing them up, but it's just as examples, not to downplay them or bash them. Taggart was known as a great recruiter. Games had to be played. He didn't quite fit the bill on the field. That recruiting took a dive, right? I think that goes for anybody. When you're winning at a high clip, you can recruit. You start losing a lot of football games, all of a sudden you can't recruit anymore. You think Gant's position is solidified at safety? Where you get that from? Gant didn't play. Gant didn't play at all. Best what? Gant didn't play, especially in the second half of the season, and he was healthy. Gant wasn't on the two deep for weeks. Now I don't know if he's going anywhere, but his position ain't solidified by any means. Gant, oh no, Akeem Dent, maybe that's who you mean, is solidified at safety. Even though I think Sidney Williams is gonna compete for that job. But Gant ain't solidified. I don't believe that for a second. Jamie as well. There are safeties going forward unless Sidney Williams or Sam McCall step up in a major way. Sidney Williams is gonna compete for that job. Jamie, a lot of people still think he might go pro. So I can't really say one way or another on Jamie. If Jamie comes back, then yeah, I think he's your safety. If Jamie doesn't come back, you might have Akeem Dent and Sidney Williams as your two safeties. Yeah, he meant Dent. He had to. I was like, there's no way you mean Gant. You meant Dent. Polk, what do you think South Carolina getting the Oak? Hey, I think that was a big deal. I'll say that, man. I think Rattler to South Carolina could be interesting. It 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 was a little shocking. Like I was like, damn, Rattler to USC, but I don't know, man. Travis Jay to the portal. I could I could see Jay hitting the portal. And again, this is my thing though. With the way FSU's recruiting wide receivers, this staff would be stupid not to look at Travis Jay and Jerry Jones. Now everything I've heard about Jerry Jones is he's one of the fastest kids on the team. Well, he can't play DB, bro. He can't play DB. Why not give him a shot at wide receiver? Travis Jay, we they in high school the man was a pure playmaker with the ball in his hands. Why not move him? Oh, you're bringing in some good DBs, man. So Travis Jay and at this point nobody wants to see Travis Jay or Jerry Jones play DB anymore. Move him to receiver. It ain't like you got a bunch of options at receiver anyway. Might as well make the move in the early spring. Let him get acclimated and learn the playbook and all of that. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. And what do you have to lose? Because either they're going to hit the portal and end up being a waste anyway, or you actually put them on that side of the ball and see if they can make some plays for you. That's the only time Jay's been, yeah. Hail Mary play, Travis Jay going to pick it off. But you know what I'm saying? At this point, when you're bringing in a Sam McCall, you're bringing in a Travis Hunter, you're bringing in Thomas out of Niceville, because I always mess up his first name, so that I just call him Thomas out of Niceville. When you're bringing in those type of guys, when you got Amarion Cooper who showed year one dog, Kevin Knowles year one dog, still got Hunter Washington waiting in the wings. I mean, Demore Tate's still on the roster. We'll see. Like, you got so many options at DB at this point. Man, put these kids on offense and let's see what they can do. Moment gets too big for Jerry Jones. Thank you for your service. My boys in South Korea. FSU will turn heads next year. This kid we got now and the ones are going to sign are better than what we had since 2017. Appreciate you, man. No, not at all. I'm not giving up on McClain. My problem is, even if McClain, and I think McClain takes another step next year, right? I mean, the natural progression says he should take a step. If McClain's not taking a step, then why are we keeping this coach around? This wide receiver coach. If you ain't developing them and you ain't recruiting them, why the hell is he still around? No, I'm not giving up on McClain, but we need more than one wide receiver. That's my thing. It's like we need more than one wide receiver because if all you got is McClain and teams can just focus on McClain, you know, keep Jay at free, stop moving him around. Now move him on offense. Because he ain't gonna get no burn at safety. Should have put Jay in on the last play. At this point, yeah, you're right. At this point, I don't know if Demore Tate a real person at this point. At least Demore Tate has kind of been confirmed to be on campus. But yeah, this point is Demore. Man, FSU, we got a lot of myths and legends about our guys who we never see none of these guys. I think we finish close. We get the guys we're supposed to get. I think we'll have a top 10 class. Helton, Pokey can't start anymore. I'm tired of it. If you move Jay, put him at running back. I don't think we need any running backs. Yeah, Pokey's still around. I think Keyshawn Helton gonna be still around too. That boy like 30. McCray, Boatwright. A lot of the guys that have left Florida State have ended up at FAU. They want to play with the guy who recruited them. You know, they want to play with the guy who recruited them. And he says, Marcus says, I'm tired of Pokey. He can hit the portal. Those guys might witness Willie get fired twice. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be crazy. Poe, who do you think Georgia pushed out to get the wideout Smith? Georgia's having to push out a lot of guys. If they're still gonna get Kamari and Everett, like all these guys, I don't know. I think they pushed out the former Florida guy, Humphreys or whatever. I'm pretty sure they pushed him out. And I know they pushed out Tyree West. Yeah, I know they pushed out Tyree West for sure. Like Tyree West is still committed, but he will not be a Georgia Bulldog. We pretty much know they pushed him out of the class. But tomorrow should be a big day. Tomorrow should be a big day. I don't know, man. Some people are really nervous. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about tomorrow. I think if your expectations are in the right place, I think if your expectations are in the right place, you should have a reasonable outlook for tomorrow, right? If you're sitting here thinking that Florida State's supposed to close in on Kevin Coleman and Kamari Wilson and Earl Little Jr. and Nigel Kelly, then I'm like, you're setting yourself up for heartache and heartbreak, right? Keep your expectations realistic. Understand that you're gonna get a big time offensive lineman, a big time defensive lineman, a big time DB, and potentially another defensive lineman, right? And you should be happy. You should be happy. Oh yeah, what happened to Tyra being a new AD? Man, Warchant Media whiffed hard on that. I don't know what happened to it, but I'm glad we ended up with Alford. So thoughts on Micah Pittman's hair? That boy got that whole. He need to give that up. He might as well just start rocking a bald head. Pittman might as well just rock a bald head because boy, that hairline is gone. You're not the only one, man. And at this point, bro, I can't even argue with the whole. I can't argue with the whole move Hunter to receiver because at this point, I think his future is at DB, but it would be funny because until Travis Hunter, the highest rated DB prospect of all time, or in the modern recruiting era, since they started handing out those grades, is Ted Ginn. And what did Ted Ginn turn into? He turned into a receiver. So that's interesting. No, it's not bad. You better hope we land them because we need them desperately. I just don't have good feelings on it. Bro, Michael Pittman got to get rid of that, bro. Just go with the ball head. He needs sport. He needs something. Pittman got to get rid of that. Just go with the ball head at this point, because, bro, that thing is back here. Like, hey, shout out to Pittman. I trust your word. Hey, I again, I don't have no inside sources, man. It's just opinions over here. Earl Little going to Bama most likely. Sounds like we're gonna miss on everyone except Hunter, Duffy, and Bishop. Well, you know how that is. That's how everybody feels. We ain't landing nobody. I think people are just in a state of like it's too good to be true. I think people give us, I don't know. Maybe it's FSU fans or whatnot, but they're giving us such a hard time, and we were 5-7, and we're still recruiting very well. But Texas went 5-7, and Sark over there killing it too. I mean, the trick is to be smart in your recruiting, and all these schools should be doing what Texas is doing. The NIL opens up a lot of doors. You just have to be smart with it, and I don't know what the fine line is there, but all these schools should be doing that. So 5-7 has you worried. I'm not gonna lie. I said it before. You can't. It's hard to sell 5-7. But all you can do is look at where the staff has had them at this point and trust they finish it out decently. And at the end of the day, tomorrow, I'm either gonna come on here and say congratulations, Mike and company. You closed well. We got a talented class for the future. We're looking good. Uh, the future's looking bright. Let's go. We're gonna have a lot of talent on the field next year. Or I'm gonna come on here and be like, hey, Mike, year 2 you went 5-7 when you probably should have went at a minimum 6-6, but you probably should have been about a 7-win team. And you just blew the only thing that was really keeping you here was this recruiting class. So we'll see. Yeah, Sapp is committing. USC went. Yeah, but that's that coaching change thing. So yeah, man, I think either regardless, if I come on here happy, I'm happy. Y'all know me. I'm not gonna come on here and sugarcoat it either way, because I'm not gonna come on here and make excuses if they completely whiff tomorrow. Like they completely whiff out tomorrow. I ain't gonna come on here and make any excuses for it. I'm gonna drop the hammer on everybody. And I'll tell you this right from the jump: you whiff, you make major. You don't sign Tyree West. You don't sign Thomas. For whatever reason, you don't get Armella. Like you whiff, there's a good chance I'll be calling. Like I'll put it like this: if you whiff on the big targets tomorrow and you don't land none of them, or maybe you land just like, what if they only sign Thomas but miss on everybody else? Or what if you only sign Armella but miss on everybody else? If something like that happens, I'm gonna be upset. And I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna put it like this: if Mike don't beat LSU game 2 next year, he should be fired. Yep, I'm jumping the gun that quick. Because at this point, you can't recruit and you can't win football games. What are you here for? But that's just me. Top 10, 15 class and 8 or 9 wins next year, I think we okay. Texas dropping duffel bags. schools are just doing what they've been doing for years. Now it's just in a lot of ways a little bit more easy to get away with NIL. We lose Mortimer and sign two of the four. That's my realistic gut feeling. I do think we lose Mortimer. Um, two of the four, meaning out of West, Marvin Jones Jr. and Armella. I'll be honest with you, and again, this might just be me having, I don't know, strict standards. I would argue out of those four, three of the four should be the goal. Is two of the four more likely? You're probably right. Two of the four is probably more likely if I was being fair, but I don't want to be fair. This thing isn't going to get better if we keep whiffing on recruits. I need three of those four. At this point, I almost feel like West, Thomas, and Armella have to be on the campus at this point. Because you put all your resources into those three guys ever since the Florida game hit zero. Those have really been, and Marvin Jones Jr., but we know that's a unique situation. Mike versus Saban, that doesn't bode well for us, right? But since the Florida game, those are the prospects you put all your resources in. To only land two of those guys, I don't know. Only batting 500, I don't know. I just don't, that's just me. LSU is a litmus test. Damn, bro, we gotta be look what Kelly doing over there, bro. All them kids transferring out, decommitting. He doing fake country accents and Dan. He looking like Dan Mullen right now, bro. If you don't beat LSU next year, I don't know who they're gonna start, but that's my point. If they land most of the class this year, what's your timetable on FSU being an 8-win team? Am I crazy if I think next year you should be flirting with 8 wins? Let's look at it. Because I don't think I'm crazy when I say, if you look at this year, a team that everybody said was not a talented football team. Everybody said this team this year was not talented. But there's one game for sure, who we all know that game. There's probably one or two games that this team this year, they didn't lose because of talent, but they lost because of poor coaching decisions. So if we were realistically a 7-win team this year, at worst we should have been a 6-6 team because we should have never lost to JSU. But that coaching decisions messed that game up. Let's just call it what it is. So realistically, we were about a 6-7 win team this year. So what are we talking about? The timetable should be 8-9 next year, because I believe we'll be more talented next year. I don't think I'm being unrealistic when I say that. I might try to go to that game. I'll be in Texas next year around that time. I might actually try to go to that game too. Terrence, look up the tickets and stuff for that game. Is that game gonna be in Dallas? Like, I think that game's in Dallas, right? Or is it a home and home? Or is it an LSU? Either way, I can make the drive. I'll make the drive to Louisiana. Terrence, look up the tickets. I got an assignment for you. Next year we gotta win 8. We need yeah. Should have won 7, right? It kind of seems that way, doesn't it? Because it's like after they saw that, then we went with the quarterback hokey pokey carousel crap, and yeah, it's in Louisiana. It's in New Orleans. Hey, yeah, Terrence, I got an assignment, bro. Look up tickets for that. All right, Tyler says the myth, the legend is coming. It's neutral. Someone says it's in Death Valley, but everybody's saying the Superdome. Someone said Terrence says it's in Houston. Hey, just look it up. And then in 2023, it's in Orlando. I'm definitely gonna make the one that's. I mean, like I said, I'll be in Texas next year. So, Terrence, look that up. Let me know. We can definitely make that road trip out there. I'm with it. Don't trust Newberg. Hey, I don't tell you who to trust. Just understand. No, it's not. It's not. You know what? Let me say this. It's not about trusting Newberg. It's understanding that Newberg is selling a product. He puts out those bold takes for y'all to eat it up. All I ask is for us Florida State fans to not be so emotional anymore. It's in the Superdome, so it's in Louisiana. All right, bet. Yeah, I'm down to make a trip to New Orleans, Nolans. I'm I'm down to make the trip to Nolans next year. Let see it. I'm definitely let's do it. And I already told you I'll be in Texas at that time, so let's do it. Let Jurg know, see if wifey will let him out the house. I might even try to make the one next year in Orlando, because I mean I can always go back to the crib. Hunter said he gonna get that crap out the way early. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Nolan's gonna be nice Labor Day weekend. Yeah, let's make that happen. And anybody else that want to make that trip out in New Orleans next year, y'all let me know. We'll do a whole get together. Boxing Monster say he going to the game, so we'll see. We'll see. And again, I might even try to go to the one in Orlando the following year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll definitely go to the Orlando one too. So, oh shit! Look who's shown up. Boy, I ain't seen this boy in. Boy, I thought you died. I'm glad to see you in good health, homie. Holy crap! Them boys like roaches, man. They come out of nowhere. Look who showed the hell up. Shout out to the new king. I haven't been over emotional about things since that Louisville game where Lamar Jackson, man, I was in Iraq watching that. So, if you've never been deployed, you got to go to like the USO to watch stuff. And so, I'm in Iraq. So, it's not like I could just watch the game in my own little corner by myself and be miserable, right? So, before the game, of course, Florida State, we hype. I got on all my Florida State gear. I go watch the stuff. And Lamar Jackson's beating us like I don't even know how to describe that. And I'm sitting in the USO looking sad. People looking at me. I'm looking at them like, what the hell you looking at? Wanting to take my stuff off, but I'm sitting there and I'm taking it. Man, that was not a great experience. I was in Iraq when that game happened. That was all the same year. Ole Miss, when we played Michigan, that Clemson with Freddie Stevenson got that ridiculous call where we should have beat Clemson. All that I remember all those games because I was in Iraq watching all of those games. What's up, Peter? So yeah, man, those good memories. I remember watching that game, being sick. After that game, I was done with Jimbo. I was at the FSU versus Ohio State game. Tariq Hill was the problem then, and even with all that All Star secondary, was still Tyreek Hill. The one thing I remember about that game is how terrible our uniforms look, man. How that goal was yellow. That's the one thing I remember about that game the most. Is just how terrible our uniforms look. Remember looking at it and saying, what did they do to our uniforms? That was the downfall, bro. Once they changed the uniforms and all that, that was the downfall. I remember that game, the Oklahoma State game. But yeah, man, tomorrow. Oh shoot, Davius Freeman, man, I appreciate you appreciate the $5 donation, man. He didn't put a comment, but hey, I appreciate you showing the love. And let's see, I'll give you Jameis, since we're talking about Jameis anyway. Bro, it was ugly. That oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going live tomorrow, and then I might not go live Thursday. Don't really see a need to. I mean, then again, early signing day lasts through Friday, so it's not just a tomorrow thing. It's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is the early signing period. Definitely gonna go do something tomorrow. Thursday I might not, and then Friday I'm gonna try to get Jurg on here, and of course he'll talk about Miami, and he'll be gushing over finally getting Mario Cristobal, and we'll probably do like a triple shot and get all of that going on Friday if he has time. Are you hitting the transfer portal back to? Are you hitting the transfer portal back to us? I don't. I don't know what that. I don't know what you're asking. I'm trying to understand that question. Are you hitting the transfer portal back to us? I'm gonna say yes. I think so. Because I'm not sure what you're asking. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a live. This is a busy week, so I want to be out there and do as much stuff as possible. So yeah, I'm gonna have multiple, and then Saturday I'll probably still do another Saturday night show. So absolutely, this week's gonna be busy. Y'all want the content, y'all gonna get it this week. How do you feel about Rattler to South Carolina? I think it's big for them. I'll say that much. Stay tuned on that. In Hawaii, homie, nah, no snow out here, just rain. In the winter time out here, it just rains. Rains. But all right, y'all, man. Did an hour and 30 today. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Maybe bright and early. I gotta check the times and see when some of these kids are announcing. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. I've been sitting in my car for too long. My legs starting to get numb. Well, sitting in the truck for too long. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. Hey, don't let these people discourage you. Stay the course. Stay. We gonna finish strong. I think we're gonna finish good. And yeah, just like I said, keep the fingers crossed. Like Firewire, just keep your fingers crossed. And tomorrow we either gonna be happy or hey, I'm going at Mike's neck. So, I'm down for either one at this point. Yeah, I will be. I'll be in Texas shortly. I'll be in Texas shortly. Not now, not soon, but shortly. But all right, y'all, man. I'm gonna holler at you guys tomorrow. As always, be easy, Seminole fans. Keep your head up. Stay classy, and go Noles, man. And have a good rest of y'all day. Have a productive day. And I'm gonna try to have a productive day myself. But all right, guys. Go Noles.